Hello, and welcome to the latest KRAD COVID reading. I am Keith R.A. DeCandido, and I will be reading, obviously. Back in 2016, in the midst of what was a most unique presidential election, seeing as how no matter which of the two candidates won, we would have had a president of a type never seen before, either the first female president or the first president to have never actually had any experience in politics prior to accepting that office. And there was a lot of thought about America and elections and things. And in the midst of that, Glenn Hellman put together this anthology, which was called Altered States of the Union, which was an alternate history anthology specifically focused on different configurations or histories or whatever for the United States of America. So lots of really cool contributors, besides Glenn himself. Peter David, Michael Jan Friedman, David Gerald, Alyssa Quitney, Sarah McGill, Hildy Silverman, Gordon Linsner, Robert Greenberger, Russ Colchamiro, me, Meredith Peruzzi, Aaron Rosenberg, Ramon Terrell, Ann Toole, Ian Randall Struck, Mackenzie Reed, James D. McDonald, and Deborah Doyle, and a whole bunch of Malin Edwards, a bunch of others. All did little stories. My story is called We Seceded Where Others Failed. It is based on, it takes place in Key West, as have a lot of my stories, and involves a particular bit of Key West history that I have altered. So, here is We Seceded Where Others Failed. Good evening, folks! Welcome to President Tony's Saloon. Yeah, that's right, this is the place where Ernest Hemingway used to drink back in the day. See, this is the site of the original Sloppy Joe's, but the owners moved around the corner to that tourist trap on Duval Street. Tony Tarasino is the owner these days, even when he was president of the Conch Republic. All the most important cabinet meetings were right here in this bar, matter of fact, back when he was president. Point of fact, he's been talking about running against President Wardlow in '83. Not sure he's got much of a chance, though I guess we'll see next year, won't we? Anyhow, enough of the tourist brochure. Where are you two from? Oh, Chicago. Very nice. So what can I get you good folks? Oh, I'm sorry. No, I can't give you any alcohol. See, you're from the United States. Yes, it's true. We originally seceded from the Union back in 25 because of Prohibition. Matter of fact, Hemingway was one of the people who pushed for it. Especially after some Treasury Department goon decided to come down here and get all in our business. It was hurting the tourist trade. And they actually shut down the railroad. Most of the rum running was by boat anyhow, but they had to go and cut off the train line, and that was that. All the Keys pulled out at that point, and the Conch Republic of the Florida Keys was formed. Kept trying to get Hemingway to run for president of the Republic, but he wouldn't go for it. You folks flew from Chicago and then took the train down from Miami, right? Yeah, that's the best way to do it. I mean, sure, you could get a connecting flight from Miami to the Mel Fisher Airport, but then you don't get the view. Nothing in the world beats going across the 7-mile bridge on the railroad. I'll tell you that for free. Anyhow, since you came by train, you saw that checkpoint at the border up in Florida City? Yeah, I bet it delayed your train, too. It'll be worse on the way home. I guess I wouldn't blame you two if you flew straight home from Fisher. It's folks leaving that they're searching, looking for refugees and drugs. Drugs, mostly. I tell you, it hasn't been this bad here since all that nonsense with Kennedy and Cuba 20 years ago. I was a kid then, but I remember being scared to death that the U.S. would bomb us just because we're allied with Cuba. Or at least we were. That was back before Castro. You know that train line you came down on? It was trash in a hurricane back in '35. Would have wiped the Republic out if Cuba hadn't paid to rebuild it. Rail was how they were getting their tobacco out anyhow, so they were motivated, and the U.S. wasn't about to help out an upstart bunch of islands that quit the Union. Was that? Oh, yeah, I heard some folks tell that story, that the U.S. offered to loan us money to build a road, but who'd want to drive through the Keys? Besides, I never bought that. The U.S. don't give a tinker's damn about us, which is just ungrateful. I mean, the Keys seceding was the big reason why Congress passed the 21st Amendment back in '30. Anyhow, you want to know why you can't just have a drink? Well, to be fair, you can have a drink, but you'll have to renounce your American citizenship first, and then swear your loyalty to the Conch Republic. See, there's a story behind this. We used to have a regular in here who was a conductor on the railroad. Artemio was on the first train that the U.S. Border Patrol detained at the Florida City stop back in April. Raised a big ruckus, especially once they started asking if he was a legal citizen of the Conch Republic. Artemio was born in Cuba, but his parents moved him to the Republic when Castro took over in '59. Those Border Patrol goons started accusing him of all kinds of things. Now, Artemio didn't do a thing wrong. In fact, he's never done anything wrong. Hasn't done much right either, mind. Artemio's one of those fellows who always dreams big, but doesn't really get to do much with it. He's always making noise about owning a boat and doing tours or scuba diving or fishing or some other thing. But he keeps just working at the railroad and coming to drink beer. Oh, and he also played on the stage here a few times. Did a few acoustic sets, but he actually isn't that good. I think he finally sold his guitar, which we all counted as a kindness. Anyhow, he gave the U.S. troops some static, as well he should have, if you ask me, and they arrested him. Didn't have any charge, just put him in cuffs and put him in a cell. Well, President Wardlow didn't take too kindly to that. He flew up to Miami and had some words with the Border Patrol. Eventually, they let Artemio go, but it took a while. Meantime, there were all kinds of protests. You probably heard about it. No? No. I guess it isn't news up in Chicago, but it was a big deal here. And the U.S. hasn't taken those guards away yet. Been months. Everyone has to go through the checkpoint like they're criminals or something. It's hurting the industry. Well, the tourist industry, obviously. I mean, there hasn't been much tobacco coming up these days, but the Republic is still paradise as far as most folks are concerned. Do you know that President Harry Truman, his own self, retired here? He always said the saddest day in American history was when we seceded. Had a house over on Whitehead until he died back in '79. Anyhow, we weren't about to turn people away, but we figured that the U.S. needed some kind of retaliation. So, no alcohol for American citizens. Oh, yeah, you noticed I said that Artemio used to be a regular. You Chicagoans are observant, folks. See, the main thing that annoyed Artemio was that they were accusing him of running drugs on the side. In fact, part of why they set up the checkpoint, or so they said, was because of reports that a train conductor was running heroin. Artemio was the only Hispanic working on the train, so they went after him. That was a big reason why he got so mad, and also something that President Wardlow pointed out to them when he went to Miami. Anyhow, Artemio came home with the president, and he got a special party night here at the bar. It was huge. All the living presidents of the Republic were here. In fact, it was the first time Presidents Terracino, Wardlow, Heyman, and Buffett were all in the same place at the same time. Which made the next thing that happened really bad for poor Artemio. See, those folks on the checkpoint weren't total morons. There was a conductor who was dealing. It just wasn't Artemio. See, one day there was a nasty rainstorm, and one of the conductors, a fellow named Eugene, had his house all flooded. He never showed up to Flagler Station, busy as he was trying to save his house, so Artemio got a frantic call on his day off to come work to conduct the middle cars of the 1050 train back up to Miami. He busted his butt and got himself over to Flagler, and put on his uniform and got on the train when it pulled in at 10:30. And then at 10:45, some little guy came on the train, put a package in the overhead rack, and then left the train. Artemio went and checked it out, and it had Eugene's name on it. There was a whole mess of heroin inside the package. Now, Artemio, he had himself a decision to make. Eugene was his colleague. What's more than that, he was his friend. That time he got up on the stage here to play with his acoustic guitar, Eugene was the bass player in the band he sat in with. Wasn't just that, though. See, Artemio really didn't like being arrested because he was Cuban. How could he rat out his friend to people who would do that? But then there was this package full of heroin. Was he just supposed to ignore it? He decided to hide the package in his cubby on the train. When the 1050 went over the 7-mile bridge, he tossed it out the window. When his shift ended, he went straight to Eugene's house to ask him what the hell was happening. He got there, and Eugene was screaming at somebody on the phone. Then when Artemio showed up, Eugene hung up and screamed at Artemio, asking him where the stuff was. When Artemio told Eugene he threw it into the Gulf of Mexico, Eugene went kind of nuts. Asked him how he could do that to him. He ruined his deal. His connection to Miami was going bonkers. All kinds of other things. No apology for putting Artemio in the jackpot like that. No gratitude for not turning him in. The next day, Artemio turned Eugene in to the Conch police. The day after that, he went to Flagler Station and resigned from his job as the conductor. and then came here for a beer afterward. He raised a toast to Eugene, then left. Nobody's seen him since. But those guards are still up there, still stopping trains and still harassing Republic citizens and tourists alike. And there's less and less of those tourists because of it. Eugene? Oh, he got arrested, and then we extradited him to the U.S. Last I heard, he was giving state's evidence to put that Miami connection of his away. Anyhow, we lost 2 conductors, and that's just the beginning of it. Sure, Eugene was a jerk, but he was our jerk. And you know what? That checkpoint didn't stop him. Didn't even find him. It was one of ours who found it out, and one of ours who got him arrested. Meantime, people are canceling their trip here because of the checkpoints. So, that's the deal. The U.S. is screwing us, so we're screwing our people. If you want to have a beer or a margarita or alcohol of any kind, you'll have to renounce the United States of America and embrace the Conch Republic. The good news is, you'll be welcomed as citizens of the finest country in the world. What? Oh, no, of course not. No, you can keep your passport. We understand that you have families and friends back home, and we promise to keep your newfound citizenry in this fine republic our little secret. Promise. Okay, hold up your right hands. Now, repeat after me. I, whatever your name is, doesn't have to be yours, just pick a name, do swear my fealty to the Conch Republic of the Florida Keys. As a newly sworn citizen of the Republic, I do also swear the following. I swear to greet others with joy and conviviality. I swear to forego the wearing of socks. I swear to embrace the humidity. I swear to consume as much fresh fish as I can possibly eat. I swear to smoke only Cuban cigars if I smoke at all. I swear to imbibe the drink of my choice, whether alcoholic or not, at least once a day. I swear to listen to as much live music as I can stand, preferably President Tony's. You don't have to actually swear that part, we just prefer it here. I swear to worship the sunset at the end of every day. I swear to share this good fortune with others, and I swear to live completely free of stress and worry for all the days I am in the Conch Republic. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Longno. You are now officially citizens of our fair land. Allow me to pour you each a beer. Here you go. No charge. First one's on the house. After all, it's your first drink as a citizen of our fine nation. Least we can do is provide the first drink gratis. A toast to Artemio, wherever he may be. That story is actually based on, as I said, something that actually happened in Key West in 1983, or 82 rather, 83? Yeah, it was 82. There was a checkpoint set up at Florida City, stopping people who were coming across the border. It actually is a road now. The railroad really was trashed in a hurricane in the 30s, but instead of borrowing money from Cuba, as they did in my alternate history, in reality the U.S. bought the rail line, the right-of-way there, and turned it into the overseas highway, which is still there. But that checkpoint was set up in 82, and jokingly, Mayor Wardlow of Key West declared independence from the U.S., declared the Conch Republic to be a thing, and then immediately asked the U.S. for foreign aid. It was all a joke. It was just a way to point up the ridiculousness of these checkpoints, which were hurting tourism, of people trying to find drugs. And since then, the Conch Republic has been just sort of a jokey thing. You can get a passport and other stuff. You can get a flag. I decided to make it real. And based on stuff that happened during Prohibition, or rather stuff that didn't happen during Prohibition. Prohibition didn't really make it to the Keys very well because they were so remote. So anytime, if a Treasury officer did come to the Keys, the conductors would know about it, and they'd warn everybody ahead of time by telegraph. So they never found anything there. But otherwise, people just drank normally. So that's my changing point in history, is that the Treasury Department actually did crack down on alcohol in the Keys during Prohibition. So anyway, thank you very much for listening. Please check me out online at DeCandido.net. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can find out when all the next readings are. I've got plenty more to come. Go to DeCandido.wordpress.com to read my blog. Go to patreon.com/KRAD and support me on Patreon. There's all sorts of cool stuff there. And please, please, please stay safe. Thank you.